So a decision has been made, and that decision, if you read the video title, is about this, my Grizzly table saw. Let's talk about it. So if you've been following along on this channel for quite some time now, then you know that when we moved into this space, the old rigid table saw went right here, right from the beginning. And it was just the best place I thought possible. Positioned with the back of it facing that wall and then the outfeed coming this way towards the other wall. And at the time it seemed like a great idea. And for quite some time now, it's worked. I really didn't have any complaints because I honestly hadn't established an actual clear picture of what the workflow would look like in the shop. But now time has gone by and I can reevaluate that. So there's two major issues that I take with this current situation. So first of all is the outfeed situation. The outfeed feeds right into the side of the planer, which maybe not that big of a deal, but it's not necessarily ideal. The second point of contention I have with this current setup is this. This is the duct that feeds into the table saw and is supposed to draw dust out of the machine. But there's more to that. This Shopbox dust collector is stated as by the manufacturer 1280 CFM. That's cubic feet per minute. Now that 1280 CFM figure is here at the inlet port of the motor and the housing and all of that. Now the further away you get from that motor, that 1280 figure becomes diminished, and it becomes more and more diminished the further down the line you go. Now I'm happy to take the blame for the diminished effects that this XL Dust Deputy has on the suction, because this plays a very important part in not blowing my motor up way too soon or filling this filter bag and this collection bag weekly. Now the real issue comes in, and again, this was all my design, but some of it was unavoidable. These elbows here, right there, and right there, kill airflow, like drastically kills it. Also, this is, I believe, about 25 feet of length here. And what's happening is every foot that it has to go, the less it does. So of that 1280, if I shut off every single blast gate on the entire run and only leave this one open, I'm still only getting maybe 15% of that 1280 figure by the time it gets to the table saw. So I've whined and complained about these elements regarding the central island table saw and outfeed. So what am I going to do about it? Well, first of all, I'm going to rotate the entire table saw 90 degrees so that now it's facing this way. Outfeed coming out into this large space here. And secondly, I'm going to eliminate this entire dust collection run. But wait! But doesn't the manual state that the G1023RWLX require 400 CFM minimum? Well, Eagle Eye viewer, you are so right. And that's where this comes in. This is the WEN 7.4 amp induction motored 600 CFM dust collection thing. So I went through a very lengthy selection process to land on this. And there's only one thing that made me pull the trigger. It's cheap. Like really, really cheap. But it doesn't have to be the greatest, because its only job is to take dust from here and pull it out. That's all it's got to do. So I don't suspect that this is going to be under a great deal of strain. It certainly is going to perform better than this empty pipe. All right, but enough of my rambling. I'm sure you're tired of hearing my voice. we're gonna just go ahead and jump right in, tear out this ductwork. I'm gonna have to cap the hole where the duct line began, and then pull everything off the shelf and turn everything 90 degrees. Easy peasy, let's get to it. Okay, we're gonna call it a night. Wanna address one thing real quick. This is not the permanent home for the dust collector. Eventually, the dust collector will live behind the table saw. I'm going to build a new outfeed table that's coming up very soon. This whole unit here is going to swing around to the side, and it's going to flank the other side of the table saw and give me maximum work surface on this little island here. Just wanted to clear that up. I know that looks janky. For right now, it's going to have to work. And now it's time for an addendum to this dust collector that we just added. So we got one of these things. I did have at least part of this kit in the past, and under certain circumstances, it certainly did get overpowered. And that usually had something to do with the old DeWalt planer, which just quite honestly put out a ton of dust. But we're talking about a table saw, and we're just not going to be doing a whole lot of collection. I just need to keep this inner cabinet clear. All right, so on the top here, we've got the drum. All right. All right, so here's the collection drum. We've got these snaps, latches rather. Okay. And then inside, well, this is familiar. Because I actually, this is what I bought a couple years ago. This exact merchandise packaging. All right. So for right now, we can put this off to the side because our only concern is the lid and the separator itself. Yeah, you know what? We're going to just speed through this. There's no point in making you watch this in real time. Hey, come in closer. No, really, I want you to see this. Hey, You, right here, right here. See, right here. All right, cool. Actually, too close. Back up, back up, back up. What are you doing? Give me some space. So, here's how this works. The airflow goes in this way, goes through these fins. I don't know if you can see in there, you can see those fins. They direct air into a cyclonic pattern, and they go around this ball. So as they're working their way around the red ball in the middle, the heavy particles of dust drops down into the bin, while the smaller dust particles continues through the hose and into the main dust collector back here. So all the really fine dust particles will go into the filter bag. The heavier stuff will drop down into the bin. Okay, so here's my very crude setup right now. I wall mounted the dust collector here on the side of the workbench and have connected it in line with the separator. So here we have the line coming from the table saw itself. It's coming through here, and then the line continues into the dust collector. Now, obviously, this filter bag is right on the ground. Not ideal. But this is ultimately not going to be collecting a whole lot. So what I might do is just roll the filter bag up a bit and then clamp it. I don't know if that'll work or not. So this new outfeed table, which will be wider by the way, will house the dust collector and the separator, keeping them nice and tucked away and out of sight. All right, well that's going to wrap up part one of this table saw renovation video. Stick around for part two. Don't know when that's going to be, but in part two, of course, like I said, I will be building the new outfeed workbench, and that should be pretty nice. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.
Just a note from the editor here. I purchased the jet separator on Black Friday. It was $250 off the regular price, in case you're wanting to know. All right, thanks for watching.
This is the win! 7.4 amp, I believe it's 7. What is this? Is it 7.4 or 7.6? I don't even know what I bought.